ॐ दक्षिणस्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशववामन कृष्णपाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम् उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्. So now we are seeing Bhagwan Shankaracharya giving a lot of importance on Jagan Mithyatvam. Now, as I have explained in the last 2-3 sessions, Jagan Mithyatvam is actually only a vision. We have to understand that very clearly. Jagan Mithyatvam does not mean that the world does not exist. Advaita Vedanta does not negate the world. That is one thing which we have to very clearly understand. Advaita Vedanta only says that that world which you think real, which think is really not as real as you think it is. It's not as real as you think it is. It is an experiential reality, but not the absolute truth. Therefore, what is said is, when we come back to transactions, when we have to interact with the Jagat, when we have to do all our transactions, it is only with the Mithya Jagat we have to do the transactions. There is no way we can transact with the Satya Atma, nor can the Satya Atma transact with anything else. It is the Gunaha Guneshu Vartante, Indriyani Indriyartheshu Vartante. The Anatma body mind sense complex, the name and form called body mind sense complex, interacting or transacting with the name and form Jagat. That is a transaction. And transaction is only possible there. But what is the vision of Advaita? Advaita vision is that whatever I'm transacting with, whatever is going on here, whatever is the objective universe that I'm perceiving so solidly, it is there, but then it really can't affect me. There is only one thing which is I, the Atma alone, the Atma Chaitanya alone, that is the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma alone, the Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma alone, the Brahma Atma alone that is there. And everything else, including our transactions, are a mere appearance on this Satya Atma or Brahman. So, what should be my vision? Advaita is a vision, it's an understanding where I know very clearly that yes, this world is very much there for transactions. And as a living being with the body, mind, sense complex, I have to transact with the world. I have to play my roles. I have to do whatever is necessary, but those transactions, this world, whatever comes out of my interaction with this Jagat, really does not affect me, the Atma. Therefore, I, the Atma, is really not the Karta, the doer, really not the Bhokta, the experiencer. I, the Atma, do not have any papa, punya, sukha, dukkha. The sukha, dukkha is in the mind, the intellect getting affected by the transaction. The pains are the emotional pains, psychological pains, physical pains. There is no pain for Atma. Therefore, let me live in this mithya prapancha, do all the transactions and the necessary actions, laukikam va, vaidikam va, whatever the transactions, karmas, let me do them the way I have to do them. But let me understand that all this really does not affect me, the Atma. All these things do not really affect me. I, the Atma, is absolutely untouched by any of these things. And when I understand that, when the vision is that Aham Satyam, I'm not going to get affected or I'm not going to get touched by any of these things. Let things happen in the world the way they have to happen. Doesn't matter. Let me do the transactions as long as this body mind sense complex is alive. There is no way other than doing transactions. Even if I know Aham Brahmasmi, I have to transact with the same world, with the same people, with the same Ajnanis. There's no other way. What is the meaning of Jagan Mithya? It is a change in my vision, a change in my understanding, which insulates me, from all the psychological pain which I superimpose upon myself. I say, I am happy, I am sad, whatever I have done, this is my punya. I have accrued this punya because of which I am like this. Maybe it is the papa which I have done some time back because of which I am suffering like this. All these things no longer affect me because I know I, the Atma, is not going to be affected by anything, whatever may be the transaction that is happening, whatever may be the world outside. So I understand that I don't have any psychological dependence on the world. The pains caused by the interaction with the world, the papa punya accrued by my transaction with the world, belong to the body mind sense complex and the jiva, and it is not for me, I, the Atma. When I realize this, then this vision itself gives me a kind of an insulation from all the negativities that I face by interacting with the world. That is why an example is given. It's like when you're opening a jackfruit, there is that sticky material. You cannot help it. You cannot say it is not there. But at the same time, you don't want to get caught in that, your hands to get caught in that sticky material. What do? You apply oil in such a way onto your hands that though you are fully immersed, your hands are fully immersed in the jackfruit, your hands are not, getting sticky by that sticky material. This is the vision of Aham Satyam Jagan Mithya. The transaction of removing peeling the coconut is there. The hands are very much involved, but this grease that I apply protects my hands. It doesn't allow this grease to touch me. Similarly, this knowledge or the vision of Advaita, that Aham Satyam Jagan Mithya, let the world be Mithya, doesn't matter. Let anything happen in this world, doesn't matter. Let me do whatever transaction by prarabdha with which this body is born, let all those actions be done. But this vision of Advaitam, that the Jagat is Mithya and Aham Satyam insulates me from getting affected by the ups and downs of this world. So psychologically, I'm also protected. That's the benefit of Vedanta. That's the benefit of knowing Aham Satyam Jagan Vidya. Like many times, the Shishas says, what's the purpose? What's the benefit of knowing this truth? That is what is called as Jivan Mukti. Jivan Yeva Muktaha. You are living your life. You're not sitting in one corner. You're doing everything that you were doing. Nothing changes. Your body doesn't change. Mind doesn't change. Maybe the mind will be very quiet after knowing this particular knowledge. That's all. It is a peace that one realizes by this knowledge. The body will be afflicted in the same way. Roga will not disappear. Jara will not disappear. Mrityu will not disappear. Things around me going bad, sometimes good, sometimes bad, nothing changes. But what is it that insulates this person, a Jivan Mukta, and the one who is beyond Shoka and Moha? Tasya kaha shokaha kaha moha. No moha, no shoka. Yes, this is the Jagat. This is an experiential Jagat. Anyway, it is Mithya. I have got the Advaita vision that Jagan Mithyatvam is a vision which protects me from getting afflicted by the Jagat. Is it a belief then? Is it an opium like thing which I believe and then it? No, it is not. It is not a belief, it is a deep understanding. I, the consciousness, is the only truth. Everything that is happening in the Jagat outside, with the objects of the world, the situations of the Jagat, with the people of the Jagat, whatever it is, nothing is really real. It is very, very temporarily real, experientially real, but really it is not there. When this vision is very clearly understood, it is like putting on, dipping or smearing my hands in grease and opening peeling the jackfruit. It is like that. So, what matters is the vision of Advaita. So, when I'm doing the actions, the Jagat vision should be there. Without that, I cannot do the actions. Sarvatma Bhava should be there, but then in transaction, I have to see the difference between me and the other person whom I'm transacting. But it will not affect me. So it is the vision which changes. It is the paradigm which changes. Nothing else changes. I remain the same. So this knowledge, Aham Satyam Jagan Mithya, changes the way I look at the world. It completely changes my vision. This is what is called as the clarity of vision. This is what is called as the Samyak Darshanam. And a Samyak Darshi or a Jivan Mukta doing the same things, being in the same situation, is not affected, does not get the yo yo of whatever is normally experienced by us. This is Jivan Mukti. And this is the vision which gives us the Jivan Mukti. That is what is being talked about here with multiple examples from two angles. Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, all that you experience in the Jagat being a name and form, being of a temporary experience, is not absolute reality, it is mithya. Then now he's talking from the other point of view, saying that everything that is there is only this Satya Atma, nothing else. There is nothing else other than this Satya Atma. Whatever I am dealing with is nothing but the Satya Atma, the Sat Chit Ananda Atma, nothing other than that. The very content of this entire name and form Jagat is nothing but this Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Atma. And that is what he is talking about in all these verses. And we just introduced the 69th verse last time. So let us go through that again and we'll see. यथैव मृन्मयः कुम्भः तद्वद्देहोऽपि चिन्मयः आत्मानात्मविभागोऽयं मुधैव क्रियते बुधैः. So here, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, when I'm touching a pot, what am I touching? It is only the clay. Mrinmayaha kumbhaha. This whole pot is nothing but mrinmayaha. In and through the pot, from top to bottom of the pot, what is there is only the mrin or mrit or the clay. Similarly, he says, tad dehaha api chinmayaha. This whole body, you can say sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, both sthula, sukshma sharira, the karya karana sanghata is chinmayaha. It contains that chit rupa atma, the consciousness swarupa atma. That is why every part of this body is conscious. From where has this consciousness come? It has been borrowed from this Atma, because it's the Atma which is the consciousness which is pervading through every cell of the body, mind, sense complex. Isn't it? Therefore, Yathaiva Mrinmayaha Kumbhaha, just like the pot is nothing other than the clay, similarly, Tadvat Dehaha Api Chinmayaha. This body, mind, sense complex is nothing but this consciousness with a name and form, with a manifestation. Nothing other than that. Atma anatma vibhagoyam mudhaiva kriyate budhaihi. Budhai here means scholars, not jnanis. Once I'm a jnani, I know very well that there is no anatma, because anatma is mithya. Whatever is there is only atma. There is no anatma at all. But then Bhagwan Shankaracharya himself has started this book itself, and all our, whatever you call, even Bhagavad Gita, first six chapters, talk about what? Atma Anatma Viveka. Then is it wrong? No, it is not wrong, because I, an ignorant person, I do not know the difference between Atma and Anatma, because I give that solidarity and the reality to the world without knowing that there is something else which is the content of everything. I'm not even aware that I am this sentient Chitrupi Atma. I don't even know that. I only see myself as the body, not even mind and sense complex, that is later. Body, world, body, world. What is this world containing? I don't know. The world is Satyam. Every name and form that I see is reality. This body is reality. There's nothing other than that. This is my level when I start. So naturally, all the acharyas, the wise people, have to come down to my level, initially accept a jagat outside me. It has to accept that, yes, there are two things, you and the jagat, you the knower and the known jagat. And then slowly this knowledge or the acharya goes on to show me the differences between the two, and makes me understand that the entire so-called anatma, including this body mind sense complex, is as though they're really not there, therefore mithya. Therefore, what is there? There is only one thing. Ekameva advitiya atma. This is Advaita. This is the vision of Advaita. We don't negate the multiplicity of the world, but the vision is that in and through this multifarious appearance, there is only one thing, which is the ultimate reality. So he says here, Atma Anatma Vibhagoya Mudhaiva Kriyate Budhai. Unnecessarily, the scholars keep on talking about it. But initially, it is necessary. Straight away, when you start with Advaita, when you start with Vedanta, if my teacher tells me there's no world at all, it's all false, only you are there. If the teaching starts like this, what happens? Probably I will say something is wrong with this whole system, this philosophy itself. I can't understand anything, and I'll just leave. So temporarily, Vedanta also accepts my duality and gradually brings me step by step to the vision that, really speaking, there are no two things. There is only one thing. That which appears as the other thing, in reality, in absolute reality, it is not there. So, this is what is said in the 69th verse. Now, what happens is, in the next five verses, out of real compassion on the part of Bhagwan Shankaracharya, he says that because of this ajnanam, because of this mudhatvam, or my confusion and ajnanam and moha, I mistake myself to be the body. I think I am the body. It is a mere result of maudhyam or mudhata or my ignorance. Nothing wrong. Nobody is blaming me for being ignorant. But we are being told that all this time that you have thought that I am this body is a mere result of your Atma Ajnanam. And that is going to be taken over, or that's going to be removed by Atma Jnanam. So for the next five verses, the second line is common. Vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena tatha atmata. That is the common line in all the five. So when we go to the first verse, the 70th verse, I will explain the second line. After that, I will not explain the second line because for the next five verses, the second line means the same. So let's read the 70th verse now. सर्पत्वेन यथा रज्जु रजतत्वेन शुक्तिका विनिर्णीता विमूढेन देहत्वेन तथात्मता. So, sarpatvena yatha rajjuhu. In a confused state, in semi-darkness because of delusion, how I take the rajju to be sarpa, how I mistake the rope to be the snake. Second example, rajatvena shuktika, rajatatvena shuktika. Just like on a beach, when there is a shell and when there is bright sunshine falling on the shell, it looks like a piece of silver. I don't see the shell, but I see the shining piece and how I mistake it to be silver. In the same way, in the absence of the knowledge of the self, I mistake myself to be only the body. So, sarpatvena yatha rajju, rajatatvena yatha shuktika. How it is, it's really not sarpa, but out of, in my ignorance of the rope, I see a snake. In my ignorance of the shell, I see a silver, a piece of a foil of silver. Similarly, vinirnita vimudhena. Vinirnita means it is taken. It is taken for granted. I have made my nirnaya. I have taken it for granted. Vimudhena, by a deluded person, by an ignorant person. Dehatvena tatha atmata. Atma is taken to be deha. Dehatvena atmata. That is it. So, Atma or I, the real, is mistaken for a deha. Just like in the ignorance of the sarpa, I see it as rajju. When I don't see in my ignorance and moha, in confusion or delusion, I take the shell to be the silver. Similarly, in my ignorance about myself, I take myself to be the body. It is a result of ajnana and moha. It is a result of ignorance and confusion. I take it. And what is the role of the Shruti? What is the role of Upanishads and Guru? To remove this confusion, to remove this ajnanam which causes the confusion. When Atma Ajnanam is gone, when Atma Jnana as to who I am really happens, then the moha or the delusion disappears. I am no longer a Vimudha. Who am I? I am a Buddha. I am a Jnani. And then I see myself as I am. I don't take myself to be anything else. Let's go to the 71st verse now. What does the 71st verse say? घटत्वेन यथा पृथ्वी पटत्वेनैव तन्तवः विनिर्णीता विमूढेन देहत्वेन तथात्मता. So again, this example has been given many times, but a number of examples, sometimes repetition, only to remove this moha from us that I am the body, because it's such a strong identification, I am the body. So to dilute that, number of hits have to be given. Like if you want to crack a, a rock, you know, any number of how many hits you have to give on by the hammer. That is why our bhaja govindam was called as what? Moha mudgaraha. This bhaja govindam is like a hammer which hammers away your delusion and ignorance. And there also he said mudhamate, hey deluded intellect, you are in delusion because of ajnanam, not knowing who you are. And with this, Bhagwan Shankaracharya says, with these few verses, let every verse act as a hammer which hammers away your moha, which cracks away your moha. Okay, so he says here next, Ghatatvena yatha prithvi. The clay is taken for a pot, taken granted for a pot. That it is Prithvi, it is clay, I don't even bother about it. This is a pot. I totally ignore the clay. This is a pot. What is there is clay. Clay, just as it is taken for a pot, patatvenaiva tantavaha, the fibers are taken for the garment. The cross and long threads of that particular material, cotton or silk or whatever, is taken up for what? It is taken up for the fiber, because of my not knowing that the real fiber is nothing but the threads going across each other. I don't know that. I have taken the threads to be the cloth. Similarly, vinirnita vimudena dehatvena tatha atmata. Okay, so what is the status of cloth? It is nothing but the tantus. What is the status or the existence of the pot? Nothing but clay. But then I have taken the body for myself. I am the body, iti I have taken, and I am very certain. Vinirnita, nirnita, vinirnita. Absolutely sure. Nobody can shake my understanding that I am the body. How can I be anything else? I am the body. Vinirnita. I have made up a very strong decision by my identification that I am this body. But that is not so. It is the effect of your misunderstanding which has come out of ignorance. So, this next three also will have the same second line, Vinirnita. Because these examples are very simple and we have talked about them number of times. I'm just taking it a little faster here. Then, next, the 72nd verse says, Kanakam kundalatvena tarangatvena vaijalam vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena tathatmata. Kanakam kundalatvena. I take the gold to be the earring. Though it is gold with the name and form, the kundalam becomes the reality. The reality gold disappears somewhere. I don't even look at it. I don't even see it. Oh, this is a earring. I bought an earring. I bought gold which looks like an earring. I don't have to say that. In my Vyavahara, I don't have to say that. I can say I have gone to the jeweler and got a pair of earrings for myself. But when I'm saying that, I should know inside that I got gold in the form of a earring. So gold is the reality and the kundalam is the appearance. Okay. But what do I say? I got golden earrings. So the earrings have become the noun, and the real gold, which is really the existent thing, has become an adjective. See how it is. So that which is really there, I have made it into an attribute. And that which is an attribute, I have made it into the reality. Isn't it? So what he says here is Kanakam kundalatvena tarangatvena vai jalam. When I see water, flowing water with waves, I don't see the waves at water. What do I say? Oh, there are such beautiful waves, calm waves. Okay, all highly, it's in tide, it's, high tide. So such high waves I'm seeing. So water is taken to be the waves. What is there is only water. But water is taken to be, mistaken to be the waves. The gold is mistaken to be a earring. Similarly, Vinirnita Vimudhena, Vimudhena, by me the Mudha, out of ignorance and misunderstanding, Dehatvena Tatha Atmata. I have mistaken the Atma for the body. Similarly, I have mistaken the Brahman for the world. Isn't it? When I see, I see so many things, 100 things I see when I look out. All the 100 things are real for me. But I don't realize that there is only one real thing, Brahman, and all these things are just appearances, names, and forms. Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat. There is only Brahman there. Only Atma. Atma Brahman mean the same. There's only one consciousness there. Everything, including this body, is a mere mistaken understanding that it is the reality. It is a mistake when I don't know something properly. I don't take it correctly. I always mistake it. And what does Vedanta do? It corrects my mistake. When my mistake is corrected, I see the right thing as the right thing, and that which is an ephemeral thing as an ephemeral thing. This is what is called as the Advaita vision. This is what is called as Atmajnanam. This is what is called as Jivan Mukti, Samyak Darshanam. All are the names for this when I have this vision. Next he says, Purushatvena vaisthanuhu jalatvena marichika vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena tathatmata. So, similar example which we have already seen. Purushatvena vaisthanuhu. A dried tree without any leaves. It is just there, far away somewhere, when I'm walking somewhere, and with its branches spread and all that, in semi darkness, suddenly it looks like a human being standing there. Okay, this sthanu means what? A stump of a dry tree with a few branches going here and there. I take it as what? Purushatvena. I take it as a human being standing there. Because very vaguely I can see in that semi darkness, and my real vision is obstructed, and I don't see that sthanu clearly. Sthanu means a lump of a tree, dry tree, which is there. So Purushutvena vai sthanuhu. I have mistaken a sthanu for a Purusha. Why? Because of my ignorance of the sthanu, I have taken the sthanu to be something else as a human being, or I may even take it as a ghost, isn't it? Supposing I'm walking alone, in a very woody area, and I'm already afraid, and I've heard stories of ghosts and all that. So suddenly I see a stump of a dry tree. I'm even, my God, there's a ghost there. I'm even mistake that I hallucinate and I mistake it for something else. Therefore, Purushatvena sthanoho jalatvena marichika. The sand, the maru, that is the, the sand in the desert, is mistaken for water, isn't it? I see that the sand is there. I don't see the sand. I mistake the sand for water because of the heating of the air on that surface. It looks as if it is water. Really speaking, it is sand. And I'm mistaking that in broad daylight. At least in Rajju Sarpa, Sthanu Purusha, at least I'll be probably mistaking it in dim light. But here, in broad daylight at 12 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun is on my head, where there's no question of mistaking something for the other, still I see Jala on the Marichika. Jalatvena Marichika. Jalatvena Marichika means that sand, that desert is mistaken, taken as what? Understood as Jalam. Wrong perception. Okay. So, but it's an experiential reality. So I can't negate that experience. But that reality is not the real reality. It is not real. So Purushutvena Vaisthanuhu Jalatvena Marichika Vinirnita Vimudhena Dehatvena Tathatmata. Similarly, I am mistaking myself, the Atma, to be nothing but the body. Then the next one, let us see, the 74th one. This is the last of these five group of verses where the Vinirnita Vimudena is the common second line. Next he says, Grihatvenaiva kashtani खड्गत्वेनैव लोहता विनिर्णीता विमूढेन देहत्वेन तथात्मता. So he says here, Grahatvenaiva kashtani. All the wooden doors and windows and pillars and beams and whatever has been there, I mistake it for a home. I say it is home. Grahatvenaiva kashtani. All the wooden parts inside the house, I take it as the house only. The timber, the wood that is there, which is giving a structure, of whatever, I take it as what? It is the house. I mistake it for a house. Correct? Supposing we find that in an old house where everything has fallen off, but some of these wooden things, the beams and the doors and the door frames and window frames, they're all, they are there to some extent there. I say, oh, this is a house. I have taken this, timber and this wood as house. So, grahatvena eva kashtani, khadgatvena eva lohata. There is a loha or a metal which is in the form of a khadga, of a sword. But then I mistake the loha for a sword because of its form, because of its name. Oh, this is a khadga. I don't say this is a loha in the shape and form of a khadga. I don't say that. Khadgatvenaiva lohata vinirnita vimudena. I the vimudha. Nothing wrong. I don't have to, take it as a derogatory thing. Vimudha, mudha does not mean I'm a fool. No. It's that because I don't know. Out of ignorance, there is this confusion. This confusion is that delusion because of ignorance, which makes me take something, mistake something than what it really is. So he says, Vinirnita vimudena dehatvena tatha atmata. So I mistake myself, this atma, to be nothing other than what? This body. Dehatvena tata. So I am taking myself to be the body. You can extend it. I take myself to be, I mistake myself to be the body, mind, and sense organs. You can do that also, but you can restrict it to the deha. Deha can include all sthula sharira, sukshma sharira, karana sharira, avasthatraya, everything. Okay. Now, next he says that sometimes what happens, we are not only taking ourselves or Atma to be something else, the body, but even the qualities of anatma, the attributes of anatma are taken to be myself. Okay? I'll tell you, give you an example how it is. See, supposing by the standards of, here, this body is short. What do I say? I am short. I'm not short. This body is short. This body is probably overweight. What do I say? I am overweight. I am fat. Am I? No, it is the body which is fat. The eyes are having a defective vision. What do I say? I can't see properly. Correct? I have long sight. I have short sight. I don't have. It is the eyes which have. Okay? I am deaf. I'm not deaf. The ears are not doing their job properly. And I'm aware of that also. I'm aware that my ears are not functioning properly. I'm aware that my eyes are not seeing properly. Then how can I not see properly? Because it is drishyam, it is something which I'm aware of. So I can't be that. Correct? So, not only do we mistake ourselves to be the body, but we mistake ourselves even to be the attributes of the body. When the body is walking, I say, I am walking. When the body is sitting, I am sitting. When the body is lying down, I am lying down. So, what is happening is, whatever is the attribute, the state of the body mind sense complex is considered to be I am having that. Like it is the mind which is awake, which dreams, which sleeps. The avasthatraya is for the mind, for the jiva, for the mind it is. But what do I say? I was sleeping. I dreamt. I am awake now. I say that. But who is awake? It's the mind which was awake, which went to sleep and dreamt and went into deep sleep and came back. So, what he's trying to say now is, in the next few verses, he says that all the attributes, the conditions, the situations of the body are taken to be my situations. I take myself, even the attributes of the body, even what you call as the dharmas of the body, are going to be taken as mine. If there is a deficiency in the body, it is my deficiency. If there is some excellence in the body mind sense complex, it is my excellence. Upanishads say, nothing exalts the Atma, nothing brings down the Atma. Because the Atma is ever the same. But we are superimposing, we are projecting the body's dharmas, the body's attributes, the body's whatever the nature is, whatever situation, condition on ourselves. I'm very weak. Am I weak? No. I'm very ill. So this is also wrong because we are strengthening our identification with the body. So that aspect of it is now being brought here as to how we see our real self as something which is afflicted by the afflictions of the body. So for that, he is giving certain examples. Okay, so let us see. Let's see what. यथा वृक्षविपर्यासो जलाद्भवति कस्यचित् तद्वदात्मनि देहत्वं पश्यत्यज्ञानयोगतः. Now for the next few verses, here also the second line is common. Tadvat atmani dehatvam pashyati. The earlier one was what? I saw myself as the Deha. Now, what does he say in the next few verses? That the Dehatvam, all the, what you call as the deficiencies, all the attributes, all the afflictions of the Atma, of the body, are considered to be my afflictions. Atmani dehatvam pashyati. Earlier, what? Atma, I saw Atma, or saw myself as the Deha. Now, in the next few verses, he says that all that which belongs to the body is seen to be belonging to me as if they are my attributes. So, it is another way of explaining, because when you mistake something, this is something which is a little deeper. We have what is called as, when you mistake one thing for the other, it is called as the adhyasa. Adhyasa means what? I mistake something for something else. Like I mistake myself to be the body. That is what is called as the adhyasa. Mistaking one for the other. That is our, ignorance and our delusion. And when you mistake something for something else, then there can be what is called as the dharma adhyasa and dharmi adhyasa. Means I am the body is the dharmi adhyasa. The body itself, I am the body. But then the dharma of the body or attributes of the body, when I mistake myself for, that's called as the dharma adhyasa. I am blind, dharma adhyasa. I am the body, dharmi adhyasa. Okay, so I am the eyes, dharma adhyasa. I am blind, I have long sight, I have short sight, dharmi adhyasa. So all this time, these 5 verses which you saw, the dharmi adhyasa was talked about. That is, I am the body. That's it. Now, all the afflictions and deficiencies of the body are my deficiencies. Dharmi adhyasa. That is dharma adhyasa. That is what is going to be talked about here. Don't worry about this dharma dharmi, because we have done a lot of Vedanta. I thought I should just give this particular point, but then don't worry about it. Just understand that till the last 5 verses, we talked about I am the body, which is a result of ajnana and vimudhata. Now he's saying, because of this ajnanam, I am seeing the dehatvam in the atma. I saw I as the deham, now dehatvam in the atma. All that belongs to the body, good or bad or whatever it is, belongs to me. What I called as the dharma adhyasa, that is what going to be talked about. So he says that yatha vriksha viparyaso jalad bhavati kasyachit tadvat atmani dehatvam pasyatyajnana yogatah. Because of ajnana yogatah, atmani dehatvam pashyati, sees all the deficiencies and all the attributes of the body in myself. And what is the example here given? Yatha vraksha viparyaso jalad bhavati kasyachit. You see a reflection of a tree in the water. How does it look? The tree looks upside down, isn't it? The tree looks upside down in the reflection. You see a pole. We always see that when we go for a walk on a near a lake or something. There are poles of light there, and the light pole is straight with the light up. But how do you see its reflection? Ulta. The reflection is seen viparyasaha. Correct? Viparyaso means what? Exactly opposite. So he says yatha vriksha viparyaso jalad bhavati kasyachit. Whenever you see a vriksha's reflection in the water, you only see the vriksha in an upside down manner. Correct? But the reality is what? The vriksha is not upside down, it is really standing the way it has to. Similarly, tadvat atmani, in me, the atma, I see all those deficiencies and excellencies or whatever it is there in myself, which is exactly opposite. I don't have any of them. I am free from all of them. I'm the Nirguna Atma, Niravayavi Atma. But then what? I see this. The deficiencies and defects of the body are seen as if they are in me. Okay? So that is why he says, Pashyati Ajnana Yogataha. Ajnana Yogataha means what? Because of my ignorance of who I am, I not only mistake myself for the body, but take all the deficiencies and defects and properties of the body to be my properties, my deficiencies, my bad qualities, my good qualities, whatever it is, good, bad, whatever, indifferent, whatever it is. Next, in the same, in the 76th verse, he says, पोतेन गच्छतः पुंसः सर्वं भातीव चञ्चलं तद्वत् आत्मनि देहत्वं पश्यत्यज्ञानयोगतः. Again, an ajnani or a vimuda person or a person who is completely deluded by ignorance, what does he see? Dehatvam in the Atma. What example? Potena gacchataha. A person who is going in a boat. Okay? Pumsaha. A man or a person going, taking a boat ride. Sarvam bhativa chanchalam. The whole, the bank with all its plants and trees and everything, it looks as if it is moving backward. Who is moving? The boat is moving. I am sitting in the boat and moving with the boat. Who is this I? This body, mind, sense complex which is sitting in the boat is moving. And I say that this is moving back. Is really this moving back or moving forth? No. It is only an illusion. We call it an optical illusion. But that illusion or delusion is there in us all the time. So when I say, I am going, I was traveling at a speed of 60 kilometers. I say that. It was a car which was traveling at 60 kilometers, not me. But how do I say? We traveled at the rate of 60, we went at 60 kilometers an hour. I didn't go. It is the vehicle which went. So that speed and the movement I'm attributing to myself. Correct? Similarly, just like I attribute the movement of the banks when I'm moving in a boat, actually the movement is not happening there. They are there where they are. It is this boat which is moving forward, which gives me an illusion. Similarly, out of ignorance about myself, who I am, I mistake or I falsely take myself to be the moving body mind sense complex. Okay, I'm disturbed today. I'm not disturbed, the mind is disturbed. Okay, and then I say that, like, you not only that, if you if you, all of us have experienced, if we travel for a long time in a train for some time, for 3 4 days, we feel when we're coming back we are still moving. That movement, that feeling of movement is still there. Similarly, I mistake a non-moving atma, a non, changing atma, to be something which is changing continuously. So he says, potena gacchataha pumsaha sarvam bhativat chanchalam. Everything looks chanchala, moving, nothing is moving there. The boat is moving and it is a optical illusion. When we travel by train or bus or something, we say, okay, Chanpatna has come, okay, Mandya has come, Mysore has come. Nothing has come. It's just that my bus or my car is reaching there. But then what do I say? Chanpatna was there only, Madur was there only, Mandya was there only. It never came anywhere near me. But I was sitting in a vehicle which moved, and that movement I superimpose upon myself and that which is not moving and say, this particular place came, that particular place came. So, similarly, I am superimposing or I'm seeing myself with all the deficiencies, problems of the body mind sense complex in myself. Therefore, tadvat atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. Ajnana yogataha, because of my association with ignorance, I see that which is not in me to be in me by association. Next, in the 77th verse, he says, पीतत्वं हि यथा शुभ्रे दोषाद् भवति कस्यचित् तद्वत् आत्मनि देहत्वं पश्यत्यज्ञानयोगतः. There is a saying, jaundiced eyes. They say a jaundiced eye sees everything yellow. Actually, medically, it is not true. A jaundiced eye does not see everything yellow. It is not true, but it is a common saying. That means, let us take it in another way. A person with a cataract sees everything hazy. Okay, everything is clear. But I have not I again. Oh, it's a mistake. The eye has a cataract. Because of that, whatever this eye sees looks blurred. It looks very, very hazy. Correct? But is it really hazy there? No. The haziness is where? Here, in the instrument called as the eye. Correct? So, what do I say? The whole thing is hazy. I superimpose the haziness on that. But where is the haziness? Here. Similarly, I say I have a cataract, so everything looks hazy. Okay? Everything looks hazy is okay. I don't have a cataract. The eyes have a cataract and they are seeing everything hazy. So, here what it means is I may understand what I'm saying, but then we are so used to mistaking something belonging to something else to belong to somewhere else. Always mistaking everything. Our daily transactions are nothing but mistaken notions only, nothing else. So he says, Pitatvam hi yata shubhre doshat bhavati kasyachit. So some kind of a defect in the eye by which you see everything yellow. Okay, not that jaundice you see yellow, but anyway, there is a thing like that. Say some defect in the eye, because of it, that which is clear is looking yellow. Tadvat atmani, in the same way, that atma which is shubhraha and clear, in that atma, I see the dehatvam, all the deficiencies, all the problems of the body I see in myself. I say, I am problem. I am the problem. I have a problem. I am problem. I am a problematic. I say that. There's no problem in me. I am not the problem. I don't have a problem. All the problems are there in the anatma body mind sense complex and the prapancha. But I mistake that problem to be my problem. So I have not only misunderstood myself to be the body, I have taken up all the problems of the body to be in me. So it's a two-way mistake. Okay, so here he's talking about the second level of mistake that I am making to see dehatvam in myself. I think we are running out of time. We'll stop this today. Om nandantu sadhaka sarve vinashyantu vidushakaha avastha shambhavi mestu prasannostu guru sada sarve bhavantu sukhinaha sarve santu niramayaha sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschid dukkham apnuyat. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om tat sat.